goes to Dusty Hill, one of the greats. God bless him, God rest his soul. You know, if you're gonna go in your sleep or that quick. This song was suggested by Keith Martin. Thank you, Keith, so much. I kind of started working on it. I'm always working on a few things, and when Dusty passed, it just rose to the top. So here we are. There are some extremely slick licks that Billy does in this song, and very out of the ordinary. So I think we'll check it out, and you guys will enjoy this. I've got the solo figured out. There is a second guitar that's overdubbed with some licks. Listening to him live, you can hear him just playing mainly the rhythm until the solo when Dusty holds down the rhythm. So we'll go over all those parts. I'll have a link to my notes, my tab below this video, so you can download that for free and enjoy. So without further ado, we'll get to the song. This first lick will go actually 6 times. The first 3 times through will be the intro. The second 3 times you'll have the first overdub lick, and then the next 3 times will be the vocals before a turnaround. So with that said, with this lick, what we're going to do is hammer on the 6th string 3 to 4, and then we're going to hit the 5th string semi-palm muted. We'll hit that twice, and we're going to kind of bounce back to that, just one more time, but we're going to hit the 5th fret of the 4th and 3rd string, referencing a C chord. Alright, so we'll have this. Then we come back to that open 5th string, and then we hit that 5 again, and then 2 on the 4th and 3rd string. Alright, so the whole lick slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it just repeats. Alright, obviously a little quicker, but you got that. That will be the whole. Again, they'll do that total of 6 times before we go into the turnaround when the vocals are in. Alright, so the next lick you'll hear after the first 6 is the start of our turnaround, and it'll sound like this. Alright, so what he's doing there, and again, this is just really a cool lick. We're going to hammer on 3 to 4 again on that 6th string. Then we're going to go right to that E note on the D string. This is all based around an E chord. Then we're going to bounce back to the open 6th string. You don't want it to really ring out. You just a little bit of palm muting. And then we're going to hit the 2nd fret of the 4th and 3rd string. And then lift off, hit the 3rd string, hammering on to the 1st fret, and then hitting the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Alright, so we have this. Alright, where your finger is, what we're going to do is take our 3rd finger up to the 6th string with a slight bend, and then back to that E note. Alright, so that's kind of the first part of the turnaround, the first half of it. So let's do that again together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we come into the 1/2 or the 3/4 of the lick. We're just going to bounce off the A string twice, and then our 5 back to the A string, and then 5, 2. Alright, so the whole lick again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're into the next lick. So it really takes a bit of practice to get this under your fingers, so don't get frustrated with it. You know, I use Riff Station or whatever you use to play your music, and if you can slow it down and keep the tuning the same, just slow it down and work on that. Alright, we'll go over next lick. So the next lick will bounce back from a D to a C using dyads, or two notes of the chord. So we're going to use the third and second string. Alright, so it starts out very similar to our intro lick, except it's on the fifth string. We're going to hit the third, hammer onto the fourth of the fifth string. Then we're going to hit a muted fourth string twice. Then we're going to reference a D, basically just the third and second string on the second and third fret. Come back to that fourth string and back to the D. We have this so far. Then we do a C. So all we do is play an open third, first fret of the second string. And then right back to a D. No note in between. Alright, so slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so at speed it sounds a little bit better. Alright, at that point we're going to do the next lick. The next lick is kind of referencing an E again. We're going to hit the muted sixth string, and then we're going to go from the dyad of E. Alright, we're taking our D4, moved it up, but we're only using the third and second string. So we'll hit that root sixth string, and then we're going to hit the fourth and fifth fret of the third and second string, slide that back to 3 and 2, a D. Then we're going to hit that sixth, muted again. And then we're going to go to that C. Alright, so we have this so far. Then we go to an A, just an A power chord. Then we go to an E7. So the E7, basically we're not going to play the fifth string. We're just going to rest our middle finger on the second fret of the fourth string, hitting that fifth string so it doesn't ring. Alright, our first finger will be on the third string, first fret, and you can use your middle finger or pinky on the second string at the third fret and hit the open E. Just those three strings. And then you're back into the lick. Alright, so let's do one of the intro lick and then come into all the changes that we've learned up to this point. I'll do it slow, so you can follow along or just watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, these are not easy licks, and Billy plays them so damn smoothly. Once you get them under your fingers, you'll have it. Trust me, it took me, I work on this for a couple weeks, well, about a week, but you'll get it. So we got that. We're back into this intro lick, if you will, 3 times, and then we do another turnaround, okay? The turnaround, once we get to that E7th, is a little bit different, and the second lick will come in. So we're going to go over that measure next. When we come into the next measure where the second lick is, what we're doing is going up to an actual D chord. Alright, and we're going to pull off to the 5th fret and add that 7th fret. But what we're going to do, and if you want to keep your timing, mute the strings a couple times and then hit it twice. And then we're going to go 5 on the 5th fret of the 5th and 4th string and add our 7 back onto the 4th string. And then 2 of the full chord. Alright, so we have this. back into the lick. Alright, that lick, that's when that lick, that's when the second overdub guitar lick comes in. But after that, we're going to do an actual turnaround with a B7. And then that little... Alright, so here we are. Alright, so what we're doing after we do that intro lick twice from the D, we're going to go open 5th string to the 2nd fret, hit that twice before going into a B7. Alright, so for this change, we're going to go from the open 5th string muted to the 2nd fret muted twice, and then a B7, then muted once, and then twice. Alright, so we have this. Repeat that. Then we're going to hit the muted 6th string while bringing our first finger up to the 9th fret. So for that lick, we've hit the 6th string open. That gives us time to get our first finger up to that 9th position. And we're going to hit the 10th fret, pull it off to 9, and then hit 9 on the 3rd and 4th string. So with the muted 6th string, then we're going to come back, hit 10 again, pulled off to 9, and just stop at the 3rd string, and then hit the 12th fret of the 2nd string with a bend, about bend and a quarter. Alright, and then we're up to a B7th to a D7th. I'll show you that. But this lick again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now our B7 that we come to will be hit twice, and we're not going to worry about the 2nd or 1st string. We're just going to be on the 5th through the 3rd string. We'll hit that twice, move it right up to D7th, and then a slide down. You do that both times. We'll repeat the exact same thing. The second time, you'll come right back into the intro lick. So from that E lick, alright, so again, it's written out in my notes so you can follow that, and it's consistent. I think it only happens one other time in the song. So after that lick, we're going to do 3 more times through the intro lick. Into the first measure of the turnaround. The second one. Alright, after that E7th, we start again with the intro lick basically, and these licks up to the D, where we move up to the D. We're in the solo rhythm. Okay, so the solo rhythm is the intro lick 3 times, the turnarounds, and so forth, and then we're into the D, and we're getting into coming out of the solo and the outro. So we'll go over that next. So we go into the D part. Then our turnaround again with the B7th. Alright, after that B7 to D7. Alright, we're coming into the last measures of the song. So we're going to do the intro lick, our typical 3 times. We'll do that 3 times. The 4th time will be our, I'll consider this the beginning of the E turnaround. Alright, now we're going to move to the D. Now it changes. Right at that point, we're going to move to the 4th and 2nd string. All right, we're going to take the 4th string from the 5th fret, slide up to 7 with our middle finger on the 2nd string. We're going to hit the 2nd string at 7, slide back to 5. Doesn't matter if they ring together. All right, at that point, you're going to hit the 3rd fret, bend and release, and then the 1st fret. It's not a pull-off. And then to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Alright, so as far we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just go simply to the 6th string, open, to the 3rd fret, pulled slightly, bent, and then to an A power chord. Alright, so let's go through that ending. We'll just go through the last measure. We'll start with 3 versions of the intro, right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the song. Now we'll get into the solo next, and you'll have in the licks that are overdubbed in the 2 places, and you'll have the whole song. First overdub lick you'll hear, there's a 5 or an A note on the 1st string that just comes right in as he's hitting the chord. So a lot of people miss it and they do the 8 to 5 pull-off, but you'll hear if you listen real closely. So it's 5 on the 1st string, then 8 pulled off back to 5. Then we go to the 3rd string with a bend at the 7th fret, release, pull off to 5. Alright, so all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of vibrato on that. Second lick that you hear overdubbed will go like this. Alright, so basically we're going to do just like we did 5 to 8 pulled off on the 1st string back to 5. And then we're going to hit 8 on that 1st string bent with some vibrato. So that's really the second lick you'll hear. There are some incidental licks that he does, like when you're doing the E7th, you'll hear just the E note on the 3rd string at the 9th fret. Alright, so those are the licks that you hear. We'll go over the solo next. First lick of the solo will sound like this. Alright, so basically we're going to start out on the 1st string 5 to the 2nd string 5, hit the 8th fret on the 2nd string, bend up. Then we're going to come back to 5 on the 1st string, 8, 5 on the 2nd, 8, 7, 5 on the 3rd. to 7 on the 4th string, back to 7 on the 3rd, 7 on the 4th. End up on the 5th fret of the 3rd string to 7 on 4 with some vibrato. Alright, so slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will go like this. Alright, we'll stop there. What he's doing is a real cool blues move. We're going to take that 2nd string at the 8th fret with a bend release, pull off to 5, and then end up on 8 again. Then we're going to take the 1st string at 5 to 2nd string 8 to 3rd string at 7. 7 is bent slightly, and then we catch 5 with a little vibrato on the 2nd string. Alright, and then we're going to take off again. Alright, so when we take off again, we're going to go, we've left with the 5 vibrato. We're going to go back to 5 again, hit 8 on the 2nd string. 5 to 7 this time, bend it up and hit 5 again. And then 5 to 8, bent with vibrato. Alright, so taking off from the 5. Alright, the next lick will be this. It's a lot quicker, but what we're doing is hitting the 1st string at the 5th fret to the 2nd string 8, 5 to the 3rd fret, 3rd string 7th fret. Coming back to 5 on the 2nd to 7 on the 3rd and 4th string. 5 on the 3rd. Alright, so we have this so far. 7, 5, 7 on that 4th string, catching 5 on the 5th string to open, and then we're going to go 3, 5, 3, so we're changing positions. And then we take the 6th string from 3, slid up to 5. Alright, so all together slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next little lick will happen back here at the 5th position. We'll be on the 3rd string. Alright, so basically we're taking the 3rd string, 7th fret, bent up and released, back to 5, 7, 5, ending on 7 on the 4th string. Alright, at that point we want to move up to the 8th position. Alright, so we're going to hit the 10th fret, bend up on the 2nd string, and go from there. Alright, so what we're doing there is a 10th fret, 2nd string, bent to 8 and 10 on the 1st string, back to 10 on the 2nd. Now we're going to grab 10 on the 1st with a bend 4 times. We'll do it one more time with a bend and release to 8, back to 10 on the 1st string. Just 10 on the 2nd and 8 on the 1st. Alright, so all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we move up to the 10th position. Then we're going to move up to the 10th position and play this. Alright, this lick will start out at the 1st string, 12th fret bent, 12 unbent to 10, 12, all on the 1st string. Then we're going to hit the 13th fret of the 2nd string and bend with a hit on 10. Okay, second to last lick will sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing, we're starting on the 3rd string, 7th fret, back to 7 on 4, to 5 twice on the 3rd. To 4 at 7. Then we're going to hammer 5 to 6, to 1st string 5 twice. Then 8 to 5 on the 2nd, grabbing 5 on the 3rd, bent, and then 7. Alright, 2nd to last lick again together. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last lick comes to the 4th position, and we'll do this. It's short. And that ends it. So what we're doing on the 3rd string, at the 6th fret, bent and released, and then hitting, pulled off to 4. Then we hit 6 to 4. Then we go back to the 6th fret of the 4th string, 4 on the 4th, or 3rd string. At that point, we just do a 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to grab 6 on the 3rd string with a bend, release, and pull off to 4 and hit 4 again. So that ends the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the solo in the song. So I really hope this helps everybody. I put a lot of time into it, and God bless Dusty. Enjoy.